I want to start today with this developing story involving the southern states. And ladies and gentlemen, it is just incredibly offensive and appalling, the behavior of the Biden administration. And I will say this, and I'm going to say this a lot. There's a time for you to be righteously indignant, and now is one of those times. According to Vice President Kamala Harris, your life is worth $750. That's it, not a penny more. Your life is worth $750. Now, the Vice President came out and announced a one-time check for the people devastated by Hurricane Helene. Understand this. Their homes are gone. The roads and the bridges are washed away. They're finding bodies in the mud, in trees. There are reports of children wandering around in the woods, in the wilderness, without any clothes on, looking for their parents. This is a modern-day apocalypse, and we know the death toll well over 200 from my understanding. And I'm being told, I was talking to some guys who are in law enforcement in North Carolina, and they're telling me the final number, if we even know what that final number is going to be just beyond staggering. This could be one of the deadliest, and it could surpass the numbers of deaths in Hurricane Katrina. But the only thing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can do is offer the survivors $750. They're not even offering a thought or a prayer. That's it. They're giving you cash, and that's it. Well, now we're getting reports, boots on the ground, that people are going online and they're trying to apply for this $750, and they're being denied. They're being told that they do not qualify to get this money. So this is one of those moments, ladies and gentlemen, where it's okay to be outraged. It is okay to be enraged. Nearly 1 week later, and the federal disaster response has been nothing short of treasonous. And I want to explain that to you. Joe Biden has a responsibility. Kamala Harris, they have responsibilities. They put their hands on the Bible. They took an oath. They swore an oath to protect this country. And they're not living up to that obligation. I mean, it's very clear. And now people are beginning to step back. And, I mean, we are hearing so many reports now. It's overwhelming, the number of reports we are hearing from volunteers who are being told by government agents, your help is not needed, your help is not wanted. We told you about the helicopter pilot from South Carolina who actually was flying out people who were trapped, and he was told, you do that again, we're gonna arrest you. You've got the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, and he's out there telling all of the do not operate a drone. You cannot send, and the reason they're using drones, they're literally taking the drones and they're sending the drones loaded with supplies, baby formula, other things, medicines, and they're flying those drones up into the mountainous communities. Right now, there are pack mules that are traversing the mountains, what's left of the mountain roadways and the trails, and they're literally delivering things like insulin and ice to people who cannot get down the mountain because there are no roads. There's just nothing there. Now, John Rich, who is a regular guest on this program, John Rich is a good and decent guy, saying this on Twitter. He said, I just spoke to a friend of mine in law enforcement in North Carolina. He said that they have, and I quote, already used over 500 body bags. There are bodies in trees, mud, cars, houses, everywhere. No federal support whatsoever. None. We talked on Newsmax TV to the mayor of Blowing Rock, North Carolina. He has yet to see a single person from the federal government. And one of the reasons why, and if you remember a couple of days ago, what was it? President Biden said that there was nothing more that they could do for the people of the southeastern states. Congressman Corey Mills is leading a full volunteer effort they have sent thousands of pounds of supplies to North Carolina. Congressman Mills says that this is nothing more, the response is nothing more than irresponsible and inept. That's what he's saying. So the question is why? Why is all of this happening? Well, I'm going to tell you why. The Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, who should have been fired a long time ago by those Republicans on Capitol Hill, led by Speaker Mike Johnson. Mayorkas says FEMA's broke. They got no more money. They don't have any more money. They don't know what to do. In other words, the American people are literally on their own here. That's it. You folks are on your own. Because it turns out that the money meant for FEMA's emergency food and shelter program has literally now been siphoned off. Hundreds of millions of dollars. We're talking about $1 billion here, ladies and gentlemen, that's been given to the illegal aliens. These are your tax dollars that are basically funding an illegal immigration resettlement program. More than $1 billion, but the Americans in North Carolina and Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, you guys getting $750. That's it, because they got no more money. I ask you, are you outraged, America? Are you outraged? Illegals first, American taxpayers last. $175 billion for Ukraine so far, only $750 for American citizens. Are you outraged, America? Ladies and gentlemen, are you a little miffed? Does that number stick in your craw? I'm just asking here. Are you outraged? Georgia Governor Brian Kemp said, and he's really upset because I guess they forgot to include many rural counties in the federal disaster relief declaration. And you know why? It's because they don't care about you. They do not care about you. That's it. They just don't care. And I'll get into more of that in just a moment. I want to go to the phone lines. We have a gentleman by the name of Terry calling in from Bat Cave, North Carolina. I know exactly where Bat Cave is. Many of you on your way to the Cove or Ridgecrest, you stop and you get a photograph of the Bat Cave sign on the interstate. Terry, first of all, thank you for calling in. I understand you're listening on our X live feed. What can you tell us about conditions there in Bat Cave?
I'm not in Bat Cave anymore because we had to evacuate, but it's decimated. It's awful. But then the authorities, they start asking you questions when you go to look for help. And it seems that if they think you're like a Trump supporter or a MAGA person, they tell you you're not getting $750. You're only getting $75. But if you're from Asheville, which is very democratic, they'll do whatever you want. They'll help you out with.
Terry, where is this happening at? I haven't heard anything about this. I've heard a lot of horror stories about people in general not getting any aid. But you're telling me, has this happened to you personally? Are you hearing this from friends or other people?
Well, Todd, I'm just making shit up like you do.
Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, thank you, Terry, for that. Let's dump him out there. So, anyway, we're done here with this call. All right, thank you. So this is the problem with people like Terry. And again, we have these people, and these folks are predators. Many of them have allegations against them of very horrible things, and they like to call in and they make these accusations on national shows. So anyway, our apologies there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break here, 901-260-5927. Yeah, that's for Tony. Yeah. Okay, listen up, folks. Ladies?
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance